Welcome to the Blaize interview. My name is Blaize, and this is
John Yabes.
You said it so Bonds-like. John Yabes. So dramatic with the flair.
I'm just distracted by your dog Lucy.
I know. I have. It's been like about a year since we've seen each other too.
Has it been a year?
But I haven't seen you since last summer. I feel like, or
When was the last time?
was it Pasadena Comedy Club before it got
No,
shut
was
down?
it?
Yeah.
Was that the last time?
No. I think I saw you afterwards at the Comedy Chateau with Alyssa.
Oh,
Was the Gateway show.
Was-
The one,
oh.
the one where they have the first half, all the comedians are sober,
Yeah.
and the second half they come back and all the comedians are high off their ass.
Everything is just like, everything just kind of compacts itself.
Compacts.
You know?
It's been a wild 2 years.
It could have been a day, it could have been 2 years.
It could have been 2 years ago. Could have been 3 years ago for all the fuck we know. But John's one of the first people I actually met in comedy. Actually, the second person I met in comedy. And we met in Hawaii. So we went to the University of Hawaii. So how did you end up from Chicago to Hawaii to now Los Angeles?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I was in the military for a little bit,
Mhm.
so before coming to Hawaii, I was actually living in San Diego, and that's where I enlisted. And then I jumped around the country for a little bit, and I ended up in Hawaii because that was my first and only duty station, Pearl Harbor. So once I was finished with that, I just let my contract expire, and then I stayed in Hawaii, and I went to the University of Hawaii.
Go Bows.
Go Bows. and then I started doing stand up a little bit before I left
Yeah.
the Navy. I think I was still in the Navy when I started doing stand up.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's been and then once I was done with college, and then I moved here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, do you remember where your first set was?
yeah. So you know Chad Wago?
Yeah.
So
One of the comics in Hawaii.
yeah, so like when I was transitioning out of the Navy, one of the things they made you do was they made you do something or take something that you used to do before you were in the military. So I took took an improv class.
Wow,
That was
that's cool.
Yeah, because I did theater when I was in high school.
Oh, nice.
You know, I'm the super popular kid. You
You were Peter Pan.
Yeah. Actually, no, I was never like a lead because I wasn't tall and striking
Or well spoken.
Yeah. Kind of sound like this. So, but no, yeah. So I took an improv class, and that's where I met Chad Wago, and Chad was like, "Hey, have you ever tried stand up?" And I was like, at that time I was like, I would never do stand up. Like, I was like, I told him I did theater, and I was able to kind of like take comedic things from theater and make it funny. But I was like, write things like write my own stuff. Like, that's fucking crazy. Who does that shit?
Yeah.
And then, but he was just like, you should just come. And I went to a couple of his shows, and after I went to a couple of his shows, there was always open mics after the shows. And,
Yeah.
And at the time, James Monte.
Oh yeah, James. I remember James.
He was hosting those open mics, and they would he would like talk to me, like he would talk to me in between the shows and stuff like that. He'd be like, you should it's like you came a couple times, just do the open mic,
Just do a set.
do a set. And I was like, I was like so afraid.
In front of all like 6 of them.
And I remember like the night I decided to do it the first time, I was just like, I'll do it, but I want to go dead last. That's what I told him. I want to go last.
That's a good and the bad.
Yeah. Well, because I remember like when I went up, it was, I think it was like 1:30 in the morning at that point, and like it was James, and I think like a dude passed out at the bar.
One of the uncles.
Yeah, and it's funny because like you meet a lot of people who start doing stand up now, right?
Yeah.
And they're just like, I wanna do like 45 minutes. I remember I begged James. I was just like just let me do like a minute. Let me just do that. See if I could do it. And he was like, you want more time? I'm like, no, man. I was like, fucking terrified. And then I did it, and like pretty much got nothing. And he was like, but I remember talking to him afterwards, and he was like, you should just like take that bit you just did, and I'm gonna put you up first. The next time we do an open mic, I was like, all right, and then I kind of just kept doing it after that.
Right.
So
what was that? Do you remember what it was? The first joke, that first minute.
Honestly, no. I think I talked about. It was really nothing. I think I talked about something that happened to me that week or something like that. So like, nothing spectacular. But,
I get that.
Yeah, but after that, like once I started doing it, I was like, I should probably like write jokes.
Yeah, the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Push shit down.
So like so I just started doing that, and I remember like, James again at some point was like, I'll let you, like, do you want to be on a show? And I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I'm ready for a show.
Yeah.
I was like, it's so funny. Like I think for people that really have context, right? Like when in Hawaii, the scene's not very big.
Very, very small. Everyone knows everyone.
Yeah, right.
I mean, they're honestly on the island when we were there. There's probably a grand total of like 30 comics.
I think at best. Right?
Yeah, like 25. I was trying to do like 25. I was gonna. My first answer was going to say 12, but I was like, nah, there's a little bit more people there. But it's got a little better. It's bigger. Excuse me, not better, bigger.
Yeah, no. From what I've seen, it's like that place has gotten much better. But
Jose is a big part of that.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Eric has done some good stuff.
Jose, Erica, Pat, and
Pat. Oh yeah, I remember Pat. He was fun.
And Pepper and
Pepper. Oh, Pepper.
Yeah.
Is he still out there?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man.
But yeah, like James put me on it. I remember when I talking about the first show I ever did. He was like, I'll give you. It was like I think $10 or $15.
Nice.
And
more than a lot of other comics.
And he was like, you could do 5 minutes at the top of the show, And I remember like I was just like, I remember being so nervous, And like I remember like I had like a composition notebook.
Yeah.
And then I remember like I was writing down my set, exactly what I wanted to say, and I kept writing it over and over again, like a fucking maniac. And then like I remember he was like the guy that was the guy that's headlining the show was like from LA, and he was like he's real good and it turned out. Do you know who Joel Koff is?
Yeah.
It was Joel. James. I mean, like not to take anything away from Joel, because we're good friends now. but James was hyping him up. James was like, this guy's from LA, like, da 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 da. So in my head, I'm like, oh my god, if I like fuck up in front of this dude, then like I'll just quit, Yeah. I remember just like I was just every night I was just kind of like looking over my jokes and whatever, and then when the actual show happened, no one showed up.
Which is typical which is very typical for a Hawaii show.
Yeah.
But it's because people got better shit to do. Because they got the beach, you got luau's.
It's like it is funny to think about stand-up comedy in Hawaii because it is crazy bizarre to think that like, what do you want to do when you go to Hawaii? I want to go watch stand-up.
I want to watch a fucking show.
Yeah, I want to go inside, instead of going around the beautiful nature and shit.
Yeah, going to the fucking orchards and fucking and the wilderness, swimming pigs and shit.
Right. It's like you wanna sit at this comedy show or do shrooms on the beach.
You can do shrooms on the.
You can do
shrooms at the comedy show.
Yeah,
it just doesn't hit. They don't hit the same.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Right.
But when you went, did you do your set and like? Did you do it the whole set the same way you practice it, or did you like?
Yeah.
Jumble it up.
No, I like I remember just like because in my head I was like, don't piss off James, and don't look like an idiot in front of this headliner. So I was just like, I was saying there to, I mean, pretty much nobody,
Yeah. to the wait staff.
No, not even like a wait. It was Hawaiian Brian, so it was like
So
it was like the bartender and like
I love Hawaiian Brian.
15 chairs,
Yeah.
But I remember I did my set and everyone, like the other comics that were there, were just like sitting in the seats. They were just like, "Wow, you really prepared for this, huh?" And I was like, "Oh,
yeah, I actually, sorry for actually giving a shit."
Yeah, right. But yeah, because like after that, like there's like two other people, and then they were just kind of like, "I woke up today drunk," some shit like that,
It's why. Who does?
Yeah, but but then I just After that, I just kept doing it. So like, then I decided to move here. So.
Nice. What I mean, like the comedy scene in Hawaii is so much different than here in LA. Like, what do you feel like is the main difference, like between the comedy scene out there and out here?
Well, honestly, like, and I see it. I'm not gonna scrounge everything up into a general statement here, mm-hmm. right? But like, I feel like LA when it comes to when it's apart from like other scenes, mm-hmm. right? And of course, like every single scene's gonna have its own kind of drama or whatever.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
LA's full of all that.
Well, I feel like LA has that, but like I think more than not though, like everyone in LA that you meet is trying to do something. So like I think a lot of that drama's kind of superseded by people being like, why are you concerning yourself with this shit? You should mm-hmm. just be trying to like make it, Yeah. So like I feel like here everyone's like, even if they don't come off like type A, there's like everyone has like a little type A-ish. You know what I'm saying? Where they're just like, I'm trying to get at something, And not saying that Hawaii doesn't have that, but I feel like when you get to these smaller comedy scenes, you'll like hop. And I think a perfect example is like if you ever hop into like a Facebook group into one of these smaller scenes, there's like walls of drama.
I mean, I've heard of the drama. I just don't bother myself with it.
Yeah, right. And then, but like at the same time, I feel like the thing I really did like about Hawaii though, is that since it was smaller, I feel like there was much more sense of camaraderie when it comes to just. And not saying that you can get that in LA, because you definitely can, because there's hundreds of people will be like you're just not looking hard enough, right? But like
you got to find a crew.
You got to find a crew. But I feel like when I was in Hawaii, there was since everyone was like we're all trying to get really good at comedy, but like there's you can only get so far, So like people kind of fall back and then hang out and just do other things, And I remember just like I just felt like at one point we were all just. Like there was a closeness, and like, fortunately, like what I felt was a closeness. I don't know like other people's experiences, when it comes to that shit. Because like, I remember like after every show, I would go hang out with a few people and we smoke weed or
drink
or like what I did a lot was board games, and like it's funny because like a lot of people I met. At one point when I was there, like, because I would kind of stay for the shows, and then I would do the open mic, and we would kind of leave. I would leave with a group. Yeah. And what I didn't realize, for some people was like, people thought like, oh, I didn't give a shit. I would just leave. Yeah. But like. And they thought I was doing other cool things. Yeah. But I was just playing board games. I'd be excited to be like, let's get the fuck out of here and play some board games.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that though.
No, yeah.
What's your favorite board game?
Oh man, if we're gonna get real nerdy, there's this if you could find it, man, you can find people that are real dedicated. There's this game called Scythe.
Scythe.
Yeah. And it's like this like territory, you build up like your little army, and then there's like mechs, but like there's like
mechs.
There's
that's
like
cool.
There's like different objectives you do around the board too.
Okay.
So so you're kind of managing because at the end of the game you score certain points by doing certain things.
Yeah.
So like there's not one way to kind of win the game where you just trounce everybody if you're not evenly like. Kind of managing everything that you could score. Yeah. You could like pour everything into one area. Yeah. And then be like, I'm crushing it here. but then you'll get to a certain max point in that, and then everyone else will come in and crush you. Yeah. It's amazing. It's an amazing game. But it's tactical and it's not the longest game. It's like probably like 2 or 3 hours.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, but to get people that like can just sit down and go at it,
Yeah, that's the hard part, especially in LA.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I've come across it a few times. Yeah. But yeah, not as prevalent as I did when I was in Hawaii, which I don't know, something I really enjoyed. But
I mean, that's a great thing. That's a fun thing. I mean, who doesn't love board games? I know. I love Monopoly. I don't really understand Sorry. I don't understand the game Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like when you get to that level, it's just kind of like those games are chance, and luck, not like. I mean, there's people would probably be like, there's a strategy to sorry.
Yeah, fuck you.
Like, you just don't know, man.
Yeah, you just don't know the whole strategy behind it. I remember I played one game, Secret Hitler. So this game, you have to, it's pretty fun. What you do is one person's Hitler, and there's like, you have one or two other people who are also like your Nazi soldiers. And so you have to go around and you have to kill everyone. And so the object is, you have to find out who's Hitler. Before he kills everyone.
Oh, okay.
And so you're just basically going around just accusing everyone of being Hitler. Nice.
I was gonna say it sounds like everyone wanted to date. Imagine if Hitler was a secret back in the 40s though, and like no one knew who was doing all this shit. Who's doing all this crazy shit?
Yeah, the Tesseract and all that.
Oh man, that would.
I mean, I play a little bit of like board games. Like I got a friend of mine who's like really, really into D&D, and so he draws out the characters, and so he made a few characters for me, and he's put them and we'll play with it, and we'll just like draw. He has like a square diagram thing that you could like wash with the dry erase marker.
Gotcha, yeah.
You wash it off, wash it on, and you just build the chambers like that. It's just fun. I love like D&D. D&D is great.
Like I've never played D&D.
Really?
Isn't that crazy? Like I played like everything else, like Magic. Wow. Yeah, I've
Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, like I felt like Yu-Gi-Oh. Not to like bash on those card games because like I'm not but like I always felt like Magic kind of had like the deeper.
I don't know how to play Magic. It takes a lot of thinking.
Yeah, but like it's so massive now too, and like there's so many sets and so many different.
Well, I'm not sure if you keep up with Yu-Gi-Oh, but Yu-Gi-Oh's like that now too. Apparently they have this whole thing where you have like a pendulum summon and shit, and you got like. Cause the only reason why I know this is because I play Duel Links on my phone all the time.
Okay.
So I love this. So it's like you remember it used to be fusion. Now there's like special fusions.
Yeah.
Now you can like if you have two, there's X, Y, and Z fusion. Whereas if you have like a level 4 card and level 4 card, you can fuse them together. So that way you make an X, Y, Z card, and just those ones are like black. The pendulum ones, it's like half regular, like the tan, the bottom part. The ones like I want to say like a teal. It's just so stupid. But you know what? I can't stop playing it.
That was funny because like I used to go to like the game stores and stuff like that, and they have the tables out. And, like when I was in Hawaii, I used to do that to go and play Magic. But then I'd see the tables with the kids playing the Yu-Gi-Oh. And then they'd have that.
Bro, don't even shit about it. Don't even that. Me and my brother we had two. We had one each, and we used to fucking go. Phew.
Yeah, I don't know. Part of me was just kind of like I kind of liked the fastness of Magic, where you could just be like, just lay them out. But then these kids would get and like not to bash because like I feel like it's good. You need that because like. At the end of the day, you're playing a game, and you should have fun playing the game. Which
I still do.
Yeah, and so like, but then I watch these kids get really animated with like.
Yes, that was me, motherfucker. You know why? Because I believe in the heart of the cards. You don't fuck with the heart of the cards, man. I'll banish you to the shadow realm.
I always thought the concept of Yu-Gi-Oh was always like, was always interesting. I always felt like there's a weird when it comes to just like. Japanese animation or whatever, or anime, whatever. They're like that weird concept of like, here's a child that temporarily becomes an adult sometimes. Oh yeah. And like, I don't know.
Well, they do make like 13-year-olds like super sexy.
Yeah, that too. Which is like, that's when I like anime still. But I look back at some of the stuff I used to watch, and like as an adult now, I'm just like, oh yeah, why was that stuff really just slid itself in.
Like what? Like what?
Just like sexy high schoolers and shit like that, where you're just like, this is
normal.
Yeah, because like you just accepted it as anime, like, that's just anime. But like at some point you're just like, this is a little weird.
Well, think about it, like you have Yu-Gi-Oh, you have literally these 10-year-old, 13-year-olds who are going to save the world from total destruction based on a card game. And a card game. Like, Pokemon, at least they had, like, actual monsters and shit.
No, that's true. I mean, I think, like, the weird thing about Pokemon was just the whole concept of, when your child turns 12, you kick them out of the house so they can go poach monsters.
Yeah.
You know, and like to me now, right? Like if I were to take a concept like Pokemon, and I was like these wild animals with these crazy abilities and powers, you know, like I'd be like, why am I fighting other Pokemon? I should just go after the guy that's trying to capture me. You know, because like, is there like, I guess there's like unwritten rules with Pokemon where they're just like, just fight the other Pokemon, just never the.
I mean, that's kind of they kind of addressed that in a few episodes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's Pokemon. I mean, if you really, I'm a really big anime guy. So I mean, if you really go, I mean, like some people are trying, like in the universe of Pokemon, there's people who are fighting for Pokemon rights and saying Pokemon are friends. We shouldn't treat them this way. How would you like it if we made you fight and this and that? You know.
Well, I wonder if like anyone. I mean, I'm pretty sure people probably thought of it, but I'm like.
PETA.
Well, yeah, PETA. But like, can you capture humans in Pokemon balls?
No. There's a certain thing I forget, but they go over it in the TV show.
There's like an algorithm.
Yeah, it's like it can only, I think it's like DNA. I don't know, but I mean, because when you get a Pokeball, that Pokeball is like registered to that one part. Because
part of me just kind of like, because they definitely have like intelligent Pokemon, right? That can think.
I mean, they do stuff.
They do, yeah. You know, like Mewtwo or whatever, right?
But he was made up. I mean, you know, he was created.
But like, if I was like that guy, I would be like, I'm gonna invent a Pokeball that captures humans.
I think he did. I think he was on the verge of that. I think that's what the premise of it. He's like cloning them, and he was going to say he was going to enslave the human race.
Oh, gotcha. he just never thought of just like reverse engineering Pokeballs. Or
I don't think so. No. I don't think it comes up that often. But I remember them saying something about it. But Pokemon's so great. Like, the thing is, nowadays, though, you have, like, weird designs. Like, beforehand, they kind of made sense. They kind of look cute. Now they're kind of like, eh.
Yeah, I haven't watched Pokemon in a long time. I know that there's, like, they have, like, literally, like gods, right, or something like that, and you can capture the Pokeball. Yeah,
you can capture a literal god with a little ball that fits in your hands that a 12-year-old can carry. I think that's basically like holding around like an AK on your chest.
No, yeah.
Just like just you hit pocket, you could create a tidal wave.
Right?
Think of the power trip that is. Like, you had this world ran by 12-year-olds and their fascination with battling animals.
Yeah. Kind of makes it like, you know, like if you don't become a Pokemon trainer or whatever, you're just like a schmuck.
I mean, yeah.
That does everything else.
You're just a bitch.
Like I'm a waiter.
Yeah. Like the best thing you could do is become a cook.
Yeah.
But you think about, like, they eat Pokemon too. So like which Pokemon? Yeah, because in a few of the episodes they have Magikarp, like fried Magikarp on a stick.
Gotcha.
So they obviously eat Pokemon, and the Pokemon eat the Pokemon.
I mean, that makes sense. That would make sense. They're the animals.
I mean, do you watch anime now or no?
You know, like off and on, I'll try to whatever like streaming service I have, I'll kind of dip into it, and I end up just watching, like, I'll end up just watching Cowboy Bebop again.
Honestly, that shit's great though. I love the jazz.
Yeah. And Cowboy Bebop, or like, you know, Samurai Champloo, or
ooh,
you know, it was a good one. I'll watch like old Dragon Ball. You know,
I love that like '80s like style, the hard angles and stuff. Yeah, I like that style. I don't like the new anime style. It's too bubbly a little bit.
I think it's one of those things where like the technology is so good.
Yeah,
because I think a lot of that's like on the computer now, right? Like,
yeah, part of it's on the computer, which makes it faster and easier.
Faster and easier to make. But I'm like, the old, this hand drawn. Mm-hmm. Like there's like, I think that's like, for my eyes at least, I'm like, that's more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, I get you.
You know, just know that like some hardworking Japanese man like driven craziness probably.
I mean, like Dr. Slump is one of, you know, the creator of Dragon Ball Z. He made this other one called Dr. Slump, and the shit he does there is like even crazier. Like, you remember how pervy Dragon Ball Z was like in the Dragon Ball era?
Oh yeah, like Master Roshi.
Yeah. Oh, that Dr. Slump. Think of that, but even pervier.
Oh wow, okay.
Like, this dude was really about the sex life. Like, I think a lot of these, like, there's a lot of like even the mangas now, the hentais.
Oh,
it's just crazy.
Yeah, no. I've been to Japan a couple times.
Nice.
And like I feel like that because like they censor a lot of pornography.
Yes.
You know, but it's also a very modest country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like you're not gonna really see people, you know, do anything like risque in public. You know, and so but I feel like that kind of then cultivates this weird like subculture where people are just like so like in public. Like it fosters like these really like demented, you know, really fucked up fetishes. Yeah, when it comes to like squids and you know like
that's the weird part. I don't get the whole squid thing.
I think that it's gonna sound real corny, but like I took an anime class when I was at UH, and like that's been like a fascination of Japan for centuries.
Centuries.
Yeah, they I forgot what they call it. There's a specific word, but it's basically like ancient porn.
I've seen some ancient porn.
And like you know, and like it's a lot of like squids, you know, and I think that kind of locks in with like this whole notion of. Which I don't know. I'm not gonna speak on it. You know,
you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna finish right
but
here.
But like, it exists. You know, like it's something that's been ingrained in the culture for a long time. You know, like a lot of like submissive type, like you know, just kind of peeking the edge of like, of you know, just the what you know, and I get it. It's like tantalizing. You know, like imagine you're just like some suit and tie, right? Just like 9 to 5 guy. Every single day you're just in a cubicle, like proficient, you know, and like everything's orderly, everything's clean, orderly, you know, and like everyone you meet, it's the same way. And so like I can definitely see why like in the back of people's heads they're just like they're freaks over there. They're freaks.
Comparatively over here?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you know like when I went to Tokyo, there was a sex shop I went to.
There's sex shops in Tokyo?
Oh yeah.
I know they have the love hotels, but I didn't know they had sex shops.
Yeah. Well, it's not like you go there and have sex. It's like sex toys and things like that.
Huh?
But there was one that was like
sex toys. Well,
yeah.
I mean,
it was like you know like sex shops here.
Okay. Well, I mean those are adult stores.
Adult stores. You know, it was like an adult store.
Okay, I thought you meant like sex shops, like you go there and you go get sex at the shop.
No. like a whorehouse.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about a whore. I thought you were.
No. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are whorehouses in Japan for sure. You know, no, but this is like an adult store. You know, and it was, but it was funny because it was like 5 floors.
Wow.
It was multiple floors. It was real nice. You know,
clean.
It's clean.
Bright lit.
Yeah, it's like walking into like a Best Buy. You know what I'm saying?
How can we help you today, sir?
Yeah, like everyone was like people were in a uniform. You know, like the displays were real nice. You know, it's like you're walking into like any other
sex shop.
Well, like it's like walking into like a cell phone store. You know what I mean? It's like walking to an Apple store. You know, and you see everything really nicely displayed and
brightly lit.
But I'll say this, like I think Japan has this kind of like. Because I feel like a lot of people's fetishes in this country are still very taboo, you know, and like kind of frowned upon, you know. But I think Japan has kind of like acknowledged the fact that like people are kind of slaves to their vices, you know, and so like they actually kind of I feel like they kind of curve a lot of that by like literally indulging in these vices that people have by like with sex toys, because I remember there was a floor in this place that was all sex dolls, right? But it was like it was separated by age range. Yeah. So it went from like 12 to like 90 something. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like yeah. Dude, I'm not lying. It was fucking crazy. And it was just like they're just like, yeah, we have these are the things that we have. You know, cuz like these are people's vices.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we'd rather have them kind of fulfill like their fantasies through these things than actually like doing it to people.
Because I know they allow like anime children porn.
Yeah, you know, like it's of course like you can't. There's no way you'd ever be able to get away with that here, right?
No.
But then you look at the crime rates in Japan.
Yeah.
Like phenomenally low.
Yeah. Well, there's a study that came out a few months ago, I think. That Japan has had only like last year. Japan only had one, a shooting one shooting, one instance of gun violence.
Yeah.
And here, versus here in America, it's like over like 20, 30,000. I mean,
Yeah.
but the thing is, Japan outlawed like swords and guns in like the
Yeah.
1500s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like they just killed their former prime minister too, just recently.
That's true.
But
I forgot about that.
But that was like a homemade gun too, which
Yeah.
is kind of insane if you think about it. But because like that, to me, that's like when there's a will, there's a way. If you're really like, devoted to whatever you're calling.
Yeah, I mean, you can outlaw guns, but some motherfuckers gonna still have them if they really want them.
Oh yeah, like if it came down to it, if someone really hated somebody enough, they'd just kill them with their bare hands.
Yeah. You think a gun's gonna stop me from fucking? The thing is, they have a lot of stabbings there instead.
Oh well, yeah.
Like with like knives and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I feel like there's too like a lot of more of a not culpability. What's that word? Where like the sense of like community is stronger, or not like community, more like honor. Like you're not gonna do something because then you'll disgrace not only yourself but your family too.
Disgrace on you.
Yeah.
Your family.
Yeah.
Your cow.
So like I feel like a strong sense of that solidarity. Honor. Yeah, that honor. Family. Is like that's also a big driving force.
Well, I mean, I've heard studies also that like there's a lot of people who don't have kids in Japan. Like they're actually in a risk of not having enough people there.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of harking back to this anime class I had, because like what the teacher did was kind of explain Japanese history through anime. Ooh. Or like what was going on in Japan with the anime.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so like there was a big shift, I think, in the 80s or the 90s. Very loose, right? In the 80s and 90s, where they allowed women in the workforce. And
finally.
So, yeah. And so like what you see a lot was like the empowering of women in these animes. You start seeing much more women kind of taking major roles and big fighters and whatever. Same time, like, and no fault to their own, because like as a man, right, you just want to be like, well, fucking step it up, right? But like it really took a lot of identity away from these men. A lot of men in Japan where they're like, if I can't be the head of the household and whatever, like a lot of them became very intimidated by women to the point where like a lot of men stopped trying to going after women. And there was like this kind of like huge problem where like then it kind of cultivated like, because we have like incels here, right? But like Japan had this problem of like men who were just so not interested in like starting relationships. They stayed with their parents. They got really into anime. Like they started like having relationships with like
pillows.
Like fake women basically. And like it's funny because it kind of cultivated this weird business where like male escorts in Japan are much more valued than women. Like women go out their way to find men like that will take them out to dates, and they pay these men to take them on dates.
I had a friend of mine in college. He did that. Yeah, all his clients were Japanese tourist women.
Because like there's just like because a lot of these men are just too like they don't want to start relationships, so these women are just like real like chomping at the bit, you know, and like but at the same time like they also kind of like there's still that solidarity, so like they want Japanese men, but like the Japanese men just don't want them. So like there was a fall off in like the birth rate. Birth rate was like literally took a hit. Because of like quote unquote like being progressive, right? But to me it's just fascinating. The class is real.
So you know what? It's women's fault that we don't have enough fucking babies. God damn it, Jarvis! This is your true colors. You're a woman. I'm just kidding.
In Japan.
In Japan, do you feel like that's not the problem here in America? Like men.
No.
Men I mean, you have that. There are some men who do that. I mean.
Yeah, but I feel like there's I feel because like there's that incel problem here. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of counterculture stuff where like, like because like we grew up in the 90s and the 2000s. Yeah. Where like a lot of the stuff that we were told as young men were particularly not true, right? And so like when these ideals kind of clash with like the present day push for like, whatever.
When you say not true, what do you mean by not true? Like, what are some examples of things that we were told that aren't true?
Like, I feel like a lot of the culture, because like you look at like ads and things like that, where we're just like women are into dudes with like really nice cars. And not saying that they aren't, right? Because
I mean,
like,
there's a certain type of woman.
Yeah, but like you're kind of led to believe that like you have to be this like alpha.
Yeah, you gotta be the man, machismo.
Yeah, like I'm the supporter. I mean,
well, I was striking back to this is a lot of especially in Hispanic cultures, like if you're women, feminine, then you're seen as gay, and if you're gay, then you're seen as lesser. Especially in the Hispanic, where it's all about like machismo, you gotta be the top dog. Yeah, and, that it does stream into what you're saying about like that. Whereas I get what you're saying there.
Yeah, and I think it's like, and I think like a lot of dudes kind of saw that as being like, if I do this, right, I'm owed a woman. You know what I'm saying? if I'm this, then like give me women,
give me the puss,
and like I think that dipped into every single aspect of men, even like nerds, because you get the classic trope of the nerd who wants the cheerleader, right? But she's dating the
football player,
the jerk, the jock jerk,
captain of the football team, captain of the basketball team,
and like they never really dip into like, well, what does she want? It's more like, oh, she's too dumb to understand, but it's not that at all, right? No. So like now you got like a lot of these groups of men who have like different ideas of whatever. Yeah, maybe when they go home they like the same movies. You don't know what the fuck. Yeah, and but at the same time, if you think about it, like objectively, she's a cheerleader, he's a jock. They're in the sports world together. They're exposed to the same things. So why wouldn't they date each other? Like it makes sense.
Because you as a nerd, you don't have the same schedule. Like when you get out, like most of the team practices, we get out at the same time, and so we're the only ones there at like 6:00 in the afternoon waiting to get picked up. Yeah. And we're like, hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah. How was practice? Or like we're gonna that familiarity. Like you only see her at one period. I see her at one period, and then I see her at after school. Yeah, exactly, right. And like. Then you're like, well, these guys who are like nerds, right? You also show like, well, there's other girls that are into what you're into. Yeah. But then they date the jocks. They're like, fuck you, nerdy dick. But like, I feel like the biggest thing though with these incels too is that like, there's like women, it's gonna sound like because I'm a straight man, right? Like, what the fuck do I know? But like, women are like much smarter to a level of like when it comes to just emotional. Yeah, intelligence. A lot of them are in therapy compared to us.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, my experience, which is like why the thing that kind of like not infuriates me, but like things that don't make click with me when it comes to incels is just like you don't have to try really hard. Yeah, you can find a woman who's attracted to you. Might not be the woman that you're like gunning for, right? Yeah, but like I feel like. You really got to take an honest look at yourself, and like whatever concessions you think you have to make, right? Because like in the big picture, you're not making the concessions. No, she's probably making the concessions for you. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're like one of these fucking incel guys. Yeah. But like I feel like if you're to give anything to women, it's like they, like you see like when you see a dude who you're like how'd you get that woman? Yeah. It's because like she could see things deeper than just like surface things. Yeah. Right? And so like I'm like so when these guys are just like I can't find a woman, it's like
why? What's your problem?
Like and you don't have to sleep with like 50 women. No. You find like one woman, and then you start from there. Yeah. Then you can find out what you really want. But
I feel it's hard because I feel like a lot of people. I mean, what is it that we look for in a partner is a very big thing. Like, for me, one thing that I know is I want a partner who, when I look at them, I can see them being the mother of my child. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that I look for. Is like, not to like, it's like, that's one whole thing, but like, could I see this woman, can I marry this woman? Not just marry this woman, but like, her have my kid. Yeah. Because there's some women out there, like, I would not want you to have my kid.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think more specifically with like incels. Yeah. Right, because like I don't even think incels are looking for that.
No, they just want. They just want
to like bang somebody. Yeah. It was like it's doable. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go to a bar. Yeah. And then just like and just wait until like 2:30 or 3.
Yabes, that is a promoting hate culture or rape culture, and I'm not here for it.
No, it's not, because it's just like I'm not saying go out and rape somebody, right?
No.
Like, but you like if you just
liquid courage or liquid.
It's just like like you'll find people eventually.
Liquid lenses. Is
yeah,
the word.
like if you go to a club and
Yeah.
you don't score in like the first couple hours.
Yeah.
You stick around.
Yeah.
Because like everyone that already has that plan or whatever, they'll go home in like about an hour or two.
Yeah.
And then like you'll see everything disperse. Then you'll be left with the people that are like looking for other people to hook up with. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying fucking go out and drug somebody, right? But if you just like you just play it cool, just wait a minute.
Time.
Wait for things to clear up.
Yeah.
And then you'll just find the people who's like.
I get what you're saying. Like I had this one time I was at this club with my friends and we were at and these girls they weren't girls, they were women. And they were women.
Distinction, right?
Distinction. They were grown women. They were grown, right? They were in the like late 30s, early 40s, right?
Yeah.
So they're grown women, and they're out there on the stage like going crazy, right? And I see this beautiful young lady right next to me, and I go up and I screw her next to her. I was like, you can tell this is their first time here. And and she laughs, and I just walked away from her, and then she ended up following and talking to me, and it's like, but we ended up having a conversation, ended up having an enjoyable evening. That's all I gotta say. But stuff like that, like I wasn't even looking her way to like get after her. I just saw her, and we were both looking at it, and I was like, hey, check it out, like this is obviously the first. These are obviously tourists. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think like you just gotta sometimes you just gotta really. I think it's hard for a lot of people to kind of just be like, take a good, honest look at themselves.
Yeah.
And just be like, you're going to go through times of just like desperate like loneliness.
Wow.
It's just going to happen.
Wow.
Especially if you're, like women go through it, like men and women both go through it.
Yeah.
It's different scopes.
Yeah, different.
Right?
This is how you interpret it, but the way you said it sounds so bad.
No, well, it's like, but it's part of the reality,
Yeah.
Like you'll go through disparate lengths of loneliness for sure, right? But and I say this as a dude who looks at himself not and like I know I'm not 6'2". You can
have fucking like 180 chiseled.
Yeah, but like I managed to have relationships with women. So
you sound shocked.
I am, to be honest.
You're a good looking fella.
To be honest, no, like seriously, like for as lucky as I've gotten, for sure, and like people might be like, yeah, you're just, like, like. I hate when I explain these things because it makes people think that like I hate myself.
No.
But I don't. I just have like a real stark like. There's other things I know I do that like for some reason, like women. Well, like not every single woman, obviously, but like it's like I'll get like every now and then. Someone will be like, What do you
mean?
and so you just like. And it's tough because for myself at least, I've tried to explain this to people, and people are just like, you're just not giving yourself enough credit, right? But like when people are like, what's your type, right? I tell them, like, my type is whoever finds me attractive. It's something I find, like, it's weird to kind of say, right? Because I find if you find me attractive, that to me that's very attractive.
You want to fuck me? I want to fuck you.
And like, and of course it's gonna be people are gonna be like, of course you'd say this, right? But like, I'd literally sleep with anyone that probably feigned any kind of interest in me. It's gonna sound like dudes are gonna be like, of course, like, why wouldn't you, right?
Fair, but like,
but like literally.
You're saying you're a slut.
No, because I'm not. Well.
Technically, just because you don't have a high number doesn't mean you're not a slut. You can still be a slut with just like 2-3 dudes. It's just, I mean.
Yeah, and I could go through the rigmarole too, like I could just go through it,
the slangs.
And I think that's also like my biggest kind of hurdle too, because then like, it makes me feel like really disingenuous when like people are just like, well, why are you really attracted to me? I'm like, because you find me attractive.
That's it? You don't think I'm pretty? You don't like my hair? You don't think I'm funny? Jeez, Yabes. It seems like all you want me is my puss.
I'm just like, and I'm just, it's just like this equation I'm trying to figure out in myself. Yeah. I'm just like, because like I don't, when it comes to like body types, height, age.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I'm not like I don't really typically I don't like going people for like much younger than me.
Much younger?
Like super young. Like I probably like my cutoff age is probably like 26 or like 27 now. Like,
I get that. Like 25 is for me.
Yeah, like I like 3 or 4 years younger than me is probably fine. You could be like 30 years older than me.
I've seen with older women. I love older women.
Yeah,
because older women, they know what they want. They've experienced stuff. They'll tell you what the fuck they want. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, fuck me like this, go at this pace, and we listen to fucking Bobby Brown.
Yeah, no, yeah, and like, if they're just like, and I want you out of here before I wake up.
Yeah, honestly, I've been told that. It's like, when we're done, you can sleep, you can take a 20-minute nap, and then you gotta get the fuck out. And I'm like, cool. Boom, 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 out, bitch.
20-minute nap, like, specifically?
Yeah, 20 minutes. She said you could take a 20-minute nap so that way you can recover. She's like, she gave me some time, like, to recover, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
she's like, you can only get 20 minutes. It was like, minute 21, she was like, you still fucking here? Get the fuck out. Shit.
My kids got school.
I gotta take my kid to daycare tomorrow. The fuck? Married women are definitely the best.
Maybe, yeah.
No, it's that little, I ain't gonna lie. Married women is just, it's just something about married women I can't stop myself.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it's funny, like I've had a couple instances with married women. Like, to me, my line, like, I'm gonna keep adding things to, even though I said, like, I'd sleep with anyone that's attracted to me, but, like, I do have lines, like, if they're too young, no. And for some reason, like, marriage.
Got you cut off?
Even relationships. Yeah, because like, to me, I'm just like, unless they're so old, like unless the dude knows too, and the dude's cool with it.
So you're okay with cuckolding, but you're not okay with cheating.
Yeah, because in my head I'm just like,
at least he knows.
At least he knows, because like I feel like it sucks, because for me, if I were to give men anything, because like I feel like men nowadays, right, losing a lot, right, but and women too. I guess anyone in this position where like they don't know they're being cheated on, like to me that's just like I'd hate being in that position.
How about you wouldn't know?
Well, I mean, eventually, I feel like that stuff. Like I feel like that stuff eventually will rear its head. Because I feel like for as much I feel like you'll always kind of sense that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if you're cheating at some point, I feel like there's like a deeper thing where like you'll feel like a separation.
Well, I'll say this: the reason why I've cheated was because of opportunity.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't. When I've cheated, I've never gone out of my way to cheat.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? It's more like I've had I'll be out and then we're just meet someone, we're just talking. And if one thing leads to another, then it does. But most of the time, especially when I was in a relationship, I just don't worry about that shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it just happened that the woman was into me. I just happened, and that's how I was in a relationship.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess for me, I'm like with the whole notion of like the idea that the person I'm with is with me and is attracted to me is like so crazy in my head that like for me at least personally, like I'm not, because like I know every situation is different. Yeah. Right. I mean, like there are women who cheat on their there's no, I keep saying women. There's like men and women who cheat on their spouses because their spouses are fucking assholes. Yeah. Like
I cheated. I've gone out of my way to cheat just because I didn't feel like I was, like you said, I didn't get what I deserved. You know what I
mean? So like I feel like every situation is different, right? Yeah. For sure. But like in my head, I'm like this. Like you have this partner who is attracted to you, and in my head I'm like, if I screw that up, right, at least for me, and like they found out, like I'm fucked. You know what I'm saying? Because they will leave me for sure, right? But I'm not gonna bounce back with with a girl I cheated her on. like that's not gonna happen. You know, now put myself in a situation where, like, you know, where
it depends if you cheat up or down.
Yeah. then I'm in, like, you know, the disparate length of loneliness.
You know, I mean, at that point you got yourself to blame. Like,
yeah.
I have a lot of relationships. None of my relationships have. I never had a breakup because of a cheat or affair. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. All my relationships, we've broken up because they just hate who I am.
Well, yeah. People break up for, you know,
multitude
of reasons, for sure. You know, so I mean, like, I think for me, like, I'd rather have that someone break up with me because they're just like, I don't think I'm really attracted to you anymore, than me being like, because, like, it's hard to kind of defend yourself, especially when, like, I feel like personally, if you're me, you know, like, if someone was like, wow, you cheated on your girlfriend, you're an idiot. You know, I'm like, I am an idiot.
Nah, I've had instances where, like, the boys are like, "You're cheating on your girlfriend? There you go, man." Shit, I'm the same way. My boys and their girls, like, she asked, "What y'all do?" "Oh, we just hanging out." He ended up cashing at my place.
Yeah.
He was at another girl's house. What the fuck? Well, I don't know.
Well, I feel like too now, with the younger generation, you know, like, even I feel like as time goes on too. The whole notion of, like, monogamous relationships.
Yeah.
And you see it now, like you kind of see it now where it's like that's kind of
Poly's becoming big.
Yeah, you know, like.
Well, I have a sister of mine. She's a teacher, and she teaches, like, high school kids, and she told me that, like, these kids are, like, really screwed up, and not to say they're all fucked up, but, like, they really don't understand themselves. They're, like, they feel like all these things that are being pushed on them, these, you know, are you gay, are you straight, are you bi, are you trans, or you're not trans, you know what I mean? And some of these kids, they'll come to her and they'll be like, she'll see them, like, one boy and this one girl, and so what happens is the boy and the girl are dating, and then a few weeks later they break up, and then they're dating, like, the boy's dating another boy, the girl's dating another girl, and then a few weeks they break up, and then they're all four of them together.
Yeah, you know, and I feel like
these are high school kids, man.
Yeah. You know, it's funny too, because I feel like that's so much more accepted now. Mm-hmm. Like, when I was a teenager, like, that stuff was still so very taboo. Like, even being gay was taboo.
Yeah.
You know, because, like,
I don't think because I graduated high school in 2011. When I grew up here in California, I mean, we had a lot of gay folks in my school, and no one gave a shit. Like, it wasn't a big deal. Like, they were obviously gay. Like, even in middle school, they were gay, and it was, like, obvious. Like, we all knew, we just didn't say. And then they came out, and we were like, no shit.
Yeah, because I grew up in the Midwest, you know, and I graduated in 2007 from high school.
Okay, yeah.
So like
my freshman year.
Not that we were outcasting
gay
people. It was literally like, and there was definitely more gay people than people knew, right?
Obviously.
But there was, like,
there's only one gay kid, but there's probably like 4 or 5.
Yeah, like there was, like, the one gay kid in your class, right? And you're like, oh, that's the gay kid, you know, and, like, but that was about it. There wasn't, like, where like we had this week or whatever.
Pride Week
or whatever. It was kind of like, that's all right. We got the one.
I feel like it's too much. Like, I mean, I feel like, because there's something that happened when I was a kid. We were driving, and my mom was like, "Look, there's a female truck driver. That's amazing." And the instance that came to my head is, like, it shouldn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? It shouldn't matter what a person's sex, you know, what their gender is, what their, you know, race is, their age. Are they qualified to do the job? Like, the thing is, like, who is the 5th president? Who is the 30th president? You know what I mean? No one really cares. You know, we don't care. A lot of people only care about Obama. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, like, oh, he's the first black president. But we should get to the point where it doesn't matter that he's black. You know what I mean? Like, like, when people run for Congress, you know, it doesn't matter their race. It should matter, like, what they do. When you apply for a job, you know, especially in Hollywood now, it's all very about diversity and about having quotas, pretty much. And I feel like, as someone, you know, and even in growing up in where I grew up in Dime Bar, UCLA even came out first front page news says we're cutting the amount of Asians. We have too many Asians. And so that's discrimination because of the race. Where's the diversity in that? So shouldn't the best students be in it? They just not matter?
Yeah. Harvard did that too.
Yeah, Harvard did that too. And for me, it's like it should be about, like, what you can do. It doesn't matter about your race. It doesn't matter about, like, you know, it just matters about your ability.
Yeah, I know, for sure. you know, and I think with that, you know, I'm no expert, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's the ideal and then there's reality.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like everyone in their minds, right? They're just kind of like everything. I think everyone wants to get to that point where like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? But if you were to take society as a whole in history right now, just in general, like the needle, kind of like moves slower than people think it does.
Much slower.
You know. So I think there is definitely I think it's definitely a benefit to kind of acknowledging that stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, like the first woman truck driver or whatever. Or the first, you know, trans person in space. Yeah. You know, I think it's good to acknowledge that stuff because you need to start acknowledging that stuff and writing it down, just so at some point it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter.
Because like right now, like for as much as you are used to it, like society as a whole, right? Because there's literally like different places in the world right now that like still like they still kill gay people. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, if you're gay or trans, like Russia, same thing with Russia.
Yeah, you know, so like I feel like that stuff's like important at least to acknowledge now, just so like
future generations can.
You know,
I get that, but for me, it's like you have to hit boom, 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 boom. It's like you got to be the diversity hire. Like for me, I just feel like there's too many like. As someone who's been in this position, like, am I just a diversity hire, or is it for skill?
Yeah, yeah, and I think too unless you get to a very specific job or whatever, because I feel like you'll meet a lot of people in these office jobs or whatever that like. Because when someone says the best, you know, the best candidate, right? I think when it comes to just like the best candidates, when you get to like the top cream of the crop, right? Like I feel like it's so incremental when it comes to like that one job, you know? Because in my head I'm like, you could probably find 10 people that could do that job, all at the same level, you know, that are could probably all be different, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like if you're like, we have to get the most qualified. Like I bet the most qualified are like 50 people that can fill that role, you know, and like who knows what that group of 50 people are, you know, so I feel like regardless, right, like whether or not your company then like leans towards like straight white men, you know, and you're like the whole concept of like, well, he was the most qualified, and like I bet you can find 20 people that can do that fucking job. Yeah. Because like most jobs, I feel like you fall into it. And you're like, I have no fucking clue what this is, and then you do it for like 2 months, and you're like, oh, I get what this is. You know. I
have a rule. Whenever I start a new job, it takes 3 months. Yeah. 3 months. Cause it takes you 3 months to get it. Because like you gotta do it, you gotta learn it, then you gotta like adjust what you're doing, and then after month 3. That's when you get in the flow of it.
Yeah, yeah. And of course there's incompetency, right? There's people that definitely just shouldn't do the job. But like I think for like my experience with most people that get promoted or get certain jobs, like they at some point they get it. Yeah. You know, in the beginning it's always easy to judge because they just get it and then they stumble a few times and make a few mistakes and you're like, oh, you should have got more qualified persons. Like, guys, you just gotta give them time. You know? Yeah. So. I don't know.
I feel that. I mean, but like, because I've been seeing lately, because like, especially after all the Asian hate that was going on last summer, like, there's been a big push for like the Asian comedy scene. Yeah. Like I've been, it's one of those things I've been like really happy to see. Like you do the Filipino comedy scene out here. How is that out here?
You know, like, it's good. You know, like I do feel like there's been more of a push. Mm-hmm. You know, because I mean, like it's hard for me to kind of, because I started in Hawaii. Yeah. And everyone is fucking.
All the Micronesians, all the Japanese.
Like everyone's Asian or Pacific Islanders. So like to me it was hard to kind of be like, is there a stage for us? It's like, yeah, they're you know, we've never been excluded.
That's fair.
In Hawaii. Yeah. You know, like, but like, you know,
it's hard to exclude anyone in Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Then you won't have a fucking you won't have a scene at all. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just recently, you know, like I think like, you know, dudes like you know, like Joe Coy and whatever. Like, when you get more like specific, like Filipino, like he's the dude, obviously, right? Yeah. And like I think it's just kind of like it's nice to just have that, just so like you need someone to kind of break through, just to kind of open the floodgates.
I feel like Johnny Summer, she's doing a lot. Like I've seen her everywhere.
Yeah, no, she's you know she's a titan of networking.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, but I see her every fucking where.
Yeah, you know, and she's only been doing it for a couple of years, but you know, she's on the improv. You know, she's
going to Florida, New York. She's doing everything.
She's everywhere, you know. Yeah,
she's great. Like I love her. Yeah. She's great. I mean, especially because the Hollywood comedy. Hollywood comedy is a great place. I always love going there. I always love it. Like I was telling everyone, it's like it's so small. Like everyone's right there, so it's like it for some people, I feel like it's a harder room, but for me, I love it because the energy is so compact.
Yeah. And I think like, and like you'll get a bunch of opinions.
Yeah.
About stand up and what like if you would ask me honestly, like where I'm at, like sometimes I feel like barely a comedian. You know what I'm saying? But like I think the one thing that you can't really get trapped in because because you take someone like John Yabes, she's only been doing stand for like 3-4 years, maybe less than that. You know? But she's at this point where like other comedians would like regardless of what their opinions are, other comedians would die. Yeah. To kind of be where she's at. Yeah. Right.
Been doing it for 10 years and not even close.
Yeah, and you kind of get that sense through like kind of like the saltiness of some comics when it comes to just opinions of like, so someone who's been doing this only 2 years.
Like Brandon Shaw.
Well, like it's funny because at some point like you can't when you don't have something to lean against, then it's your actual material, right? That will carry you, or like once you get to the mainstream, and people could, like the millions of people across the country could like watch your shit. Yeah, it's like you better make sure that your shit's good because the market will definitely tell you your value as a comedian. Yeah, but like at the same time, I never, I've been doing this for like over 10 years now. Yeah, varying degrees, right? But like what I've seen is that like you see dudes who start in their early 20s and they make it when they're like in their late 40s. Yeah. You see people who started at 26 and they get famous at 29. Yeah. Like you can't really hate that process because then you'll get distracted by it. Yeah.
I mean, you could look at someone like Dave Chappelle, and I even had another Dylan. I had him on. He's been doing comedy since he was 15. Yeah. I mean, people like Dave Chappelle, like he said in the special, he's been doing comedy since he was a kid. Yeah. I mean, there's people who've been doing comedy for literally since they're in high school, middle school. Yeah. I mean, that stuff to me is amazing to see. It's hard to see. You know what I mean? Because people, especially that age, it's like just doing something like that is so hard. Being up on stage, like I had another comic, Erin McBride, on. She said, she's a singer, she's an actress. She's been in like plays. Mm-hmm. That to her, no problem. But her first comedy set, the first time she went on stage, terrifying. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And stuff like that, I feel like we can all relate to.
And I think like, fame. And I'm not famous, right? But like
you are to me.
But I feel like fame is such a weird, because because you take any aspect of entertainment, like comedy, music, acting, right? Like even if you make it, mm-hmm. it's not even like a certified. It's not like I made it and I'm gonna be here forever.
Yeah, you gotta keep doing shit.
Yeah, and so like you'll see the spectrum of experiences. Yeah. You'll have the person that gets a deal when they're 2 years in, and then they have like 3 specials, and then they just continue to get better, and then there's like one of the best comedians. Then you'll have the person that's like hits it really hard. They get their first special and then they just drop off. Yeah. They fade into obscurity, and you see it in every aspect of entertainment. Mm-hmm. So in my head, I'm just like, man, if you could just get to that point where you have a platform, mm-hmm. like who knows? Yeah. Because it's fucking crazy.
It's hard.
It's like nuts. Like and for someone to be like, well, they just did it because they're a trust fund kid and they had all the time in the world. There's like 50,000 other trust fund kids who are trying to become famous that don't become famous. Yeah. Like there's a bunch of people who are struggling. Yeah. Like and then one of them becomes like there's nothing's like written in stone. Yeah. Anything could happen.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many homeless comics who live here in LA, so many people who live in vans and cars.
Yeah. And like even like some famous comics that like did that. Mm-hmm. And now they're famous. Mm-hmm. Like there's not a
well, the thing is like Chris Pratt, excuse me. Chris Pratt, he has this famous story, like, his first script, he used to live on the beaches of Hawaii and surf all day, and he's like, man, I fucking loved it. Like, he was homeless, but it wasn't like he was homeless, you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
I mean, he was enjoying himself out there in Hawaii. So it's like stuff like that is like, just because you're slumming, it doesn't mean it's always the worst of times.
No, yeah, for sure. You know, everything's what you make of it too.
Yeah.
You know? So like, you can let this stuff stress you out, and you know, admittedly, like, you know, I've had times, I've like these instances all the time where I'm just like, why am I still doing this? You know, like, am I further or in the same place, or did I fall behind?
Yeah.
What
is your level of success?
I'd say like even not middling. You know, like, I've definitely been paid to do comedy.
Yeah.
You know, I've had very good experiences where, like, I've done very well, and people have come up to me afterwards and been like, man, why don't you do more? You know. And like, and of course, like, there have been times I've gone my own way.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, where I'm just like, oh, it's not my time, or I don't deserve it.
That's,
you know,
a little self-defeating.
Yeah, for sure. And like, you know, I think like the couples with like a lot of things, even outside of what, like, you know, just kind of grinding. You know? And like, everyone phases and burns out sometimes, and you just need to do a little soft reset and get back in it. You know.
Yeah. I feel that, like, I remember one of my comic friends, they would say, like, you know, you don't really have to struggle as a comic because comic's a night gig. So why don't you get a goddamn fucking day job, and fucking you be a comic? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ain't gotta fucking be homeless to be out here.
Yeah. At the same time, too, though, like, I feel like there's at some point where you have to kind of like, at some point, you know, like, if you're gonna go all in, you're gonna go all in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like, sometimes like having a day job will get in the way of that, for sure.
Definitely.
You know, and so like
auditions and stuff.
Auditions, and you know, and it's kind of the same thing. It's just kind of like, I think something now, which is very beneficial. You know, I'm not gonna speak for like people way back when, right? Because I was not trying to do it then, right? But I think now, you know, like, there's not one way.
Yeah.
To like get yourself on a stage.
I mean, there's so many different stages now. Like, there's different stages in the park. There's like hike a mic. There's places like on the beach.
Yeah. So
many different places. Like, people are doing like houses now.
Yeah, and like and I'm speaking more of like, you know, there's not like you have to go work at this club and be like a dishwasher, you know, and then like at 2 a.m. they'll put you on a spot, right? Like, now it's just like, you can't make it in a club, then like you start TikTok, and then become huge on TikTok, and now these places are like calling you to get you on that shit because they know that you'll bring an audience.
Yeah.
You know, or like, or you make sketches.
Yeah.
You know, or you just there's like a billion different ways.
I will say that, like, the bringer shows are hard, especially for young comics. Like, a lot of young comics, they go to those bringer shows, and like, just because they got the name on it. Yeah. That comedy store, but they don't bring, and I know a lot of young comics who get kicked off and don't get to perform because they couldn't bring anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it for the club. Yeah, I get it. You have to be able to bring them money. Yeah. But like, for a lot of young comics, they're like, oh, I want to do this club, I want to do that club. Like, but they don't understand, like, you can't really keep doing that. It's not as sustainable as you think it is sometimes.
No, yeah, and it's funny because I've known some people that have been able to kind of like keep that up. Very rare, right?
Yeah, it's hard.
Very, very rare. Yeah, and I think the thing too is like, because you could probably have hundreds of people with different opinions about bringer shows, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I feel like, you know,
that's what you gotta do.
If it's I think there's like a notion of like, this is what you have to do. Yeah. Right, and then you kind of realize, as like a comedian that has like a tinge of self-respect for yourself, you can kind of see through that and being like, if a comedy producer that is not like that does not have a show at like a club or like a major venue like Supernova or whatever, right? Like, if they're doing a show at like a bar, and then they're like, you have to bring 5 people, and I'll give you like a minute for every person, and then like, you're not gonna get paid, but what I'm going to give you is exposure, and you should be grateful. And you should be grateful that you have a stage you can perform at. It's just like, all right, that person's using you. Like, no judgment on that person, because at the same time, everyone has like their hustle. Yeah. You know, but I feel like a lot of those producers that do that stuff, you know, it's just like, you're like, well, how much are you making? How much are you pocketing?
Yeah, they're talking a lot more than.
They're talking a lot more than you think.
Because I always say this, like, because the tickets to go to the place is usually like $20, and then they're usually like a 2 minimum item, and each thing the minimum is like $15, so that's 30. So they're trying to make like minimum $50 off you.
Yeah.
Per person.
Yeah, and you know, like, and I produce shows, and like I'm speaking for everybody because everyone has different stipulations with the venues that they make deals for or whatever. But like every show I've ever done, I've always been able to pay my comics. You know, it might not be a lot, and sometimes like comics don't want to get paid. You know, especially if they know that you're doing like a new show.
Yeah.
Right. But like, even if I don't make profit off of it, I'll try to give something.
Yeah.
Because it is your time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, I give you a stage, but in the big picture, like my fucking show, it's not gonna make you famous. So like, if you're driving 25-30 minutes to get to my show to do like
5 minutes,
7 minutes, you know, take money. You know what I'm saying? If anyone ever offers you money, you take it,
bitch.
Take it. You know what I'm saying? Because then you start seeing like the end goal. You know, because like for what it's worth, whatever you think comedy is, like for any passion you do, anything that you do, you need money. You know what I'm saying? And like once you get that money, you start saying like, this is where you're valued at. You know, and then you go and then you get higher and higher. Yeah. And you start realizing that like the stuff that you're doing is like, you know, it's like people pay like $300-400 to watch Dave Chappelle. Yeah. You know, like, you think he feels bad about it?
No, I mean, he had that thing in Indiana where he got one of the venues he got kicked out of.
Yeah. Well, you know, and we could go into like, you know, everything that, you know, it's
like, is there such thing as being canceled anymore? Really? Maybe for like poor people, but like for rich people and famous people, like they can turn that around into a profit. Like Bodega Bro.
Yeah.
That dude.
I feel like, you know, it's never black and white. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, I feel like if you're already in the system. Yeah. And you're already a name that people can make money off of. Yeah. It's hard to be completely wiped off. Mm-hmm. Unless what you've done is so heinously awful. Right? And I think like as a culture, we've really kind of pushed that line to what heinous is. Yeah. Like it's probably at this point like you killed someone and you ate them. You know what I'm saying?
Like Bill Cosby, he got released from prison and like a few months later he was trying to do a comedy tour.
Yeah. You know, but like I bet you if that guy went on tour though, he'd be fine.
That's sad.
You know.
That's sad.
It
like you have people like Chris D'Elia and like, you know.
Yeah, Chris D'Elia never got canceled. I mean, like he lost jobs and opportunities. Yeah. But he's still doing comedy. Yeah. You know, like, and I'm not here to be like, it should be or shouldn't be. Yeah. I just observe what's happening. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, for as many opinions as Dave Chappelle has, and for how he feels about how he's being treated, you know. It hasn't really stopped him from performing, putting on shows, putting on specials. So every time, like, it's kind of pulled back and forth. Where like, people have legitimate gripes against that guy, right? And I just feel like a lot of what he does, where he's just kind of like, "Why are you coming after me?" It's like, well, I mean, you're saying some shit that's really like, regardless of like how you feel about it or whatever. Yeah. You know, like I'm pretty sure that if people really got to the core of what bothers you, right? Then you'd probably start acting out, you know. And there's things that Dave Chappelle would probably say that like I don't care if you talk about la 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 la, right? But it's because that's probably something that doesn't bother him. You get to the core of that dude, you can break anybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can break anybody. Yeah. If you find out what like really bothers him.
You gotta peel that onion back.
Yeah, you know. So like it's like there's an aspect you gotta understand that like, yeah, words like, you know, the whole sticks and stones thing. Yeah. It's like inherently not true. Right, because like if sticks and stones never hurt anybody, then like there wouldn't be any mass shootings. You know what I'm saying?
You mean words? Because sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Yeah, you know, like words have power.
Yeah, well, it's also the power that the person gives to it. Like, if you call me a bitch, like I'm not gonna think anything of it. But if someone else calls me a bitch, I'm like, who the fuck you calling a bitch?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could call me almost anything. It'll be hard for me to get mad at you. You know what I mean? Because of the relationship we had. But if it's someone, like, off the street, if we're in the club and, like, something happens and they call me a bitch, I'm going to have to, like...
Yeah, everything's contextual.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, you know, it's... So, I mean, so I think that's the reason why it's, like, so hard to kind of, like, get to an end of it, because I don't feel like it's clear, you know? And, like... And for as much as, like, the ideal is, you know, you still got to understand, like, the society that we live in is murky, you know, and I feel like it's not as wherever, you know, like, the only thing I'm really grateful for is the fact that, like, I don't think the world's so fucked, because if the world was fucked, right, if society was really crazy, right, and it's hard to kind of be like, haven't you seen the news? But I think if the world was really crazy, like, we wouldn't be doing this.
This podcast?
Like, yeah, we wouldn't be doing this podcast. The lights wouldn't be on. We'd be like, you know, we'd hide out during, like, the daytime. Yeah. Because you don't want to go outside, because, like, someone will just fucking shoot you. You know, you'd have to wait till night to go out and scavenge for food. You know, that's what, like, that's the point where I'm just like, all right, everything's gone to shit.
Do you think you would survive in that apocalypse world?
No.
He's like, I'm too much. I mean, didn't the military, like, prepare you for that?
No. I mean, like, I was a submariner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was
submariner. You were in the submarine.
Yeah.
That's cool. What was that like?
You know, it was like, it's gonna sound real corny, but, like, you know, like, when, like, any other job you get, right? As soon as you can get, like, the ebbs and flows of it, it's all about, like, your mindset. You know? Like, I think the thing that benefited me the most about, you know, like, if you were to be like, would I do this now, right? I guess it would matter what was going on in my life. Yeah. You know, like I was very young. Yeah. You know, I didn't really have.
Single.
Yeah, I was young. I was single. I didn't really, like, have any vision for myself.
Goals.
You know, goals. And I was kind of in, like, this place where, like, I had a 9 to 5 and I was doing that every single day.
What were you, like, before you did comedy? What were you thinking of doing? Just.
So I mean, like, when I was in high school, I did theater. I did a lot of performing arts things. So I remember distinctively, and, you know, if you want to know where my mindset was back then, just seeing the landscape of the entertainment at the time, I was like, I'll never be, like, a leading man, you know, like, I'm not, you know, quote unquote, I'm not tall and white. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I was like, I love the technical aspects of theater, of film. So I wanted to go into, I wanted to get into filmmaking. You know, just to kind of, like, know how the nuts and bolts kind of went. Because, like, I looked at filmmakers and I was like, I look more like those guys. You know what I'm saying?
Just like a little short and pudgier.
You know, like, really, like my power will be in the creative force behind my head, right? Yeah. And so that's what I wanted to do, but, like, you know, things really didn't pan out that way when it came to, like, you know, I come from, like, a really traditional Asian. Yeah. You know, like, I'm.
You gotta go to college. You gotta get you. You know, doctor yet?
Yeah, it's like, you know, I think it's trounced now, right? It's like, really, even though it still exists, right? But the whole, like, you're either gonna be a doctor or a dentist
or a lawyer
or whatever.
I mean, I grew up in Diamond Bar. I still have a lot of my friends. I mean, I go back there. It's still like that.
Yeah, and so, like, you know, there's stuff that kind of muddied that, and, you know, I found myself just working a 9 to 5, and this guy from the Navy would come in every single day. My job.
Where were you working?
Funny enough, I was working at a Target in San Diego, and so, like,
that sounds right.
And so, like, you know, eventually, I was like, you know, I'm not really doing anything, and then I scored really high in the ASVAB. And it's funny because, like, when I first wanted to join the Navy, I asked the guy, I was like, do you have filmmaking? You know, and he's, oh yeah, he's like, you know, like the films, you know the commercials, yeah, the Navy commercials and all that, which was a lie.
What? He lied to you.
Yeah, well, because you know who makes those? Like, fucking the actual film industry. Yeah, makes those. They
pay people.
Yeah, they pay. You know, like, you know, but they do have, like, media people, but they're like the people that
propaganda.
They're more like people that, like, take pictures of the ships coming in, and, You know, they'll videotape.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, you know, but like, I scored really high in the ASVAB, which is like your entrance, the entrance.
Yeah, see where if you can be a Marine or not.
Well, yeah, it kind of sees like what jobs it can offer you.
Yeah.
You know, and I scored real high, so they're like, no, you can't do that, which was a lie. Like it turns out, like, you know, these guys get bonuses for like signing up guys to do more
harder stuff,
harder things. You know.
Yeah.
So I scored really high, so like they said you could become a submariner if you wanted, but you should definitely be this thing called a nuke.
What?
Which is
that sounds kind of cool.
Well, it's like basically like they train you to work on nuclear powered power plants.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you know, but it's funny because like.
But you wouldn't have ended up in Hawaii.
I wouldn't have. That's, you know, like it's a thing about life,
yeah.
Right? Where you like you don't really look at the situation while you're in it.
Yeah.
You know, but like. And of course, you know, people were just like, "Why didn't you continue it after you were done?" You know, because like,
it's a good career.
It's a good. Oh yeah, it's you know, that would have set me straight. But like, when I signed up to do this, I was 18.
Oof.
You know, like I didn't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have big picture skills in that regard.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. You know? And like I was a good test taker. I could like soak in a lot of information. But like they wanted me. I was a mechanic, right? But like asked me how many engines I worked on before I joined, and of course like there's like a bunch of people in the military like, yeah, me either. But now I'm fucking an ace in it. But like that stuff like never really interested me. But like I was just so good at like on paper.
Yeah.
You know. But like practicality, I was not a mechanic.
You're a fucking idiot.
You know,
but that's a good thing about the military. It like gives you skills that like you could have took that and become a mechanic. You could have worked on cars and stuff.
Yeah. But I think like, you know,
you could have been like a contractor for submarines. I don't know.
Yeah. But I think like eventually what you want to do kind of always trumps. You know, regardless of, because like something will always kind of like I feel like eat at you.
Yeah.
You know, because like. And they might disagree with me because I never talked to them about it, right? Because like I've had conversations with my parents, and everyone has a conversation with their parents where like, you know, they're like, "Do you think I like what I do? I do it to support you."
My parents, my dad does, my mom doesn't.
Well, to me, I'm just like, that might be partly true, but it's hard to kind of convince me that you'll do something for 40 years of your life that you hate. You know, you might hate it every time you think about it. Well, like there's something about it that you like. It might be the structure, you know what I'm saying? It might be the stability, it might be the money, but you could be doing hundreds of other things that.
I mean, you've seen BoJack Horseman, right?
Yeah.
Remember, like that his father didn't want to work there or work for his family.
Yeah.
But as soon as he had the kid, he's like, "Fuck, I got to do this." I mean, there's people who get in that situation.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not the job that you're looking at, right? Sometimes people's goals are, I want to have a family.
Yeah.
You know, and the job is like the secondary thing to kind of get to that goal.
Yeah, I understand.
So like for me, like the urge to kind of keep pursuing like filmmaking and creative routes always just kind of came back to me. You know.
Do you have any projects that you're working on now or that you've been working on?
No.
Are you working towards your dream of being a filmmaker, or
you know, there's things in the pipeline, for sure. You know, and I've done it. You know, I've helped people on short films.
Yes, I've seen you. I've seen a few of the things you worked on. You do, every time you do something, it's always fun and good.
So like, you know, not that it's just not that
you worked on Dog Moms, didn't you?
Yeah. No, I mean, like I
helped out.
I did some PA stuff on that, and I voiced one of the dogs.
Yeah, I remember. That was great. I loved your dog.
But you know, like if at any point like I could get something going, and you know,
would you say like your end goal would be then like your level of success, like if you were to reach it, would be like to direct your own film, or like to produce in a film or something like that, or would it just be an editor on a film? Like what level aspects do you strive for?
You know, like when I went to film school, I focused in on writing specifically.
Really?
And then editing.
So you'd rather be a writer?
Yeah, I think ideally I'd like to kind of control that aspect. At the same time, like I'm a dude that doesn't really hold a lot of things sacred, you know. So like if I wrote something and then like I gave it to someone and they was like, we want to change this and this and this, I'd be like, that's the thing that's hard.
Do whatever you want.
Well, because if I can get to a point where like I'm even in that arena, where like what I'm writing is being made.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I took a writing class in UH for film writing, and that shit, like when you get in there and people are dissecting your baby, it's like you're like.
I think when you come to learn about like any film, the inception of any film when it comes to any script, it's like the initial idea for any film is not what the end product ever is.
Yeah.
Never ever, you know, like unless you get to a point where like a Quentin Tarantino and you have like 100% control.
Yeah, but he didn't start out that way.
Yeah, he didn't start out that way. Like no one does.
No one does. You have to work there, and it's hard.
Yeah, and in reality, like even if you're lucky enough to like get to that point,
level, yeah.
Like to get to that point and to the point where like I'm in 100% control of my film production. That in itself is like another needle in a haystack. You know what I'm saying? Like there's hundreds of writers that like their stuff gets picked up and dissected all the time. You know, it's just like. At some point, you know, like I'd love to just be like, this is what keeps the lights on.
Yeah,
you know.
I get you.
So I mean, in that regard, like.
Yeah, but you're here, man. You're doing it. I mean, it's not like it's something that's out of your reach.
No, yeah, for sure. In ways, you know, like, and there's, I think like. There've been things I've been thinking about how to like tackle that or whatever, but you know, I think until it actually happens, you know, then like I'm not really. It's funny because it's what I'm passionate about. Yeah. But like I'm not, like I won't say I am that until it happens. Yeah. You know, like same with like stand up. You know, if someone were to be like, if someone was just like, hey, are you a stand up? I'd be like, kind of.
Kind of. Yeah. Are you a comedian? Sometimes.
You know. Until like,
that's such a comic answer. Well, that's such a pessimistic answer.
Well, to me, I'm just like. You can't be lost in the brush where like you think you're something when you're not. Yeah. You know.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, and it's a dangerous route because, of course, like it's definitely pessimistic, and you should definitely not be so pessimistic. You get in your own way, but like until I'm touring with somebody and getting paid like $700 a weekend.
That's not bad.
You know, to do shows. Yeah. Then like, who am I to fucking be like, I'm a stand-up comedian, and you better say I'm a stand-up. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Because like, ask the majority of people, like, you know John Yabes? They'll be like, the fuck is that?
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, you know, like.
What the fuck is a Yabes?
Yeah. It's like, did he die or something, or like what's going on?
What did he do? Like, is he famous? Should I give a fuck? Especially here in LA, no one gives a fuck.
No, yeah, no one gives a fuck.
They don't care about like some people. I've heard some stories. I've been on dates and people like, oh yeah, I've gone dates canceled because someone asked me how many Instagram followers I have.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? Like
especially for like a date.
Yeah. Well, it was like it was off. I met this woman off OkCupid. So.
And she wanted to know how many followers you had?
No, she had a date canceled on her. She told me because someone told her that she didn't have enough followers.
Yeah, that's so weird because it's like, you know, traditionally, like, what do you look for in a date? You know, you just want to meet somebody that you're attracted to, and then see if you can go on more dates. Yeah. Right?
For me, it's first attraction, then mental.
Yeah.
Like, I hate stupid bitches. I mean, if like you're stupid and you stupid, like you're the type of stupid, like you ask stupid questions, like, does a calamari, does that have fish? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that, you know.
It's like you go to a sushi place and you're like, do y'all have sushi?
Yeah, I mean, definitely teachable moments for sure. You know,
it's just like
I give people benefit of the doubt. But like it would definitely grate me if I told you something. Like if someone was like, "Is sushi fish?" I'll be like, "Yes, it is fish." And then like they keep going on about like, "I can't believe sushi's fish." And I'll be like, "Okay, maybe this is."
Well, you can have a discussion there because I like to be what's the word? Combative. So I'd say, well, some sushi's in fish.
Yeah. Surely.
Surely.
But you know, like I think it's bizarre, the whole notion that like someone didn't want to go on a date with someone because they didn't have because like at that point that person's like what, looking for clout?
Yeah.
They would like jump on that person's Instagram and be like, I'm with this person, follow me.
Yeah.
How crazy? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Would you ever like I've never been in a situation where I even like a follow comic. I'd never give a shit how many followers they have or like who they follow. Like that's never been a problem to me. The only thing that made me mad is one time, this girl was so bad. It was bad. So I was with this one mic. I won't say which one, but this girl. I was like, oh, you're. I was just saying. I was like, oh, you're a comic. Let me grab your Instagram. She's like, oh, buy me a drink first. And I was like, no. Yeah, I don't want your Instagram enough to buy you a drink. Bye bye. She's like, oh no, I know you're a comic. You're poor. I was like, no, bitch. It's not because I'm poor. It's because I don't give a fuck about you. I'm just trying to like, be friendly. Like the fuck you mean? Like you trying to like no, I don't do that shit.
It's something I definitely would be aware of if I was going out with someone that's like has 12 million followers,
I wouldn't even notice.
They probably make you notice. They probably be like, look at everybody, like, and you're just like, shut up. Get
the shit fucking out of here, bitch. Honestly, I don't think I could do that. Because I'm not the type of person to be on. Like, one thing I hated was, like, everyone who goes on Instagram Live, goes on Facebook Live, and, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to Target. Look at me by Target. Look at this shit. I'm at Target. The fucking shit. I'm picking up shit at Target. Like, I don't give a fuck, bitch.
It is bizarre. I think it's, like, a weird... Well, I mean, like, it's exposure, obviously, and, like, wanting to keep your follower count, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like, at the same time, like, I think we're just so scared of being, like, just having quiet moments and being alone with some people that they have to, like, literally just stream everything they do. Which, to me, is kind of bizarre. But, like, yeah, I mean, that's definitely a red flag. You should definitely not date anyone that's, like, you don't have enough followers for me.
Yeah.
That's
what are other red flags for you?
I think honestly, like I'll give like.
I feel like we're really deep in jobs.
Like my and it's just it's not it's like it's so dumb, right?
Yeah.
But like I just don't want to be murdered.
I mean, how's that dumb?
Well, it's just like that, like
your red flag is if she might be a murderer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like she's gonna come out and say, "Hey, I murder people."
Well,
do you want to be?
Yeah, I guess like like if there's like if she's kind of like weird and awkward, like I think you have to have like the like reciprocity, right? Like
reciprocity.
Like yeah, if you're too quiet, maybe I could deal with that.
What about a loud woman?
Maybe if you're like racist. No, yeah. If you're racist.
Wait, so would you date a woman with an Asian fetish?
Yes.
that dead stare. You're like, that is right up my alley.
Because like if you, for me personally at least, cause I'm not gonna make broad statements, but if I get to someone who is like fetishizing me, right, and I know I could just like fuck up sometimes, but they have like such a hard on for like Asian dudes, you know what I'm saying? I'll stay around for that forever. Because like, how many people have you met that's like, I'm super into Asian dudes?
Good amount, especially like in Hawaii.
Oh well. I grew up in I grew up in the Midwest.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's like you and like what, 2 other Asian folks there.
In Hawaii?
No, in the Midwest, in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
There's like very few Asians there.
Well, like it's kind of hard to like push forward because people are just like you're being ridiculous. But yeah, when I went, more high school and college, I guess, because like my grade school was weirdly very diverse for being private Catholic.
Funny story. I went to a Chinese private Christian school in 2nd grade.
Yeah.
And what's even greater is there was only 2 kids in the class. It was me, this black kid named Fatio Serio, and our teacher, Mr. Martin. Fatio Serio.
Oh, Serio.
Oh, Serio, yeah.
Okay.
It's called Oreo. But that's not bad.
No.
But we had a teacher, Mr. Martinez, who's Mexican, right?
Yeah.
He was married to a Japanese woman. So this was a
Okay.
very diverse classroom.
Gotcha.
And like it's funny because in my brother's classroom, he had there was 8 kids. All of them, they all have because he has very like straight hair. I have curly hair, so me and my brother look nothing alike. You look more like my brother than I do, honestly. So it's like everyone there has a bowl cut, including my brother, and then obviously he's bowl cut, and they're all like pale, like light skin, and then you see dark skin. It's like which one doesn't match the rest?
Yeah, but like honestly, I just think like, and there's a lot of there's a lot of other factors, but like
dad bod.
Yeah, well, because like, and maybe like I wasn't like maybe I was just an idiot in high school and I wasn't looking deeper, but like
probably.
Yeah, probably right.
There's probably a few girls who had Asian fetishes that you didn't know about.
Probably, and that's saying like Asian dudes in my school weren't because they definitely were, right? But it was real like groupish. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's
like
how
Asians,
high school is.
Yeah, like Asians were dating Asians, mainly that. Like if you're an Asian dude, you probably were gonna date an Asian girl.
I mean that's how it is in even where I grew up.
Yeah.
Because like I would try to date a lot of Asian women. You know what I mean? Especially in high school because I was filled with them. But a lot of them say, no, I don't want to date you because, you're not Asian.
Yeah. But my high school was predominantly white, and so like, it's funny to kind of be like tell people like I've straight up experienced people being straight up like racist.
Yeah. Because they can because they think it's funny.
Because they're the majority, right?
Mm-hmm.
And literally girls being like I don't like ranking races that they would date, and it's like Asians were always on the bottom. Asian dudes. Yeah. Specific. Asian girls on the other hand, like.
Let's be honest.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like Asian dudes were always, and I'm not saying that they didn't because obviously not because they were, but for me, like if there's a lot of factors that were. It sounds like I'm making excuses. Mm-hmm. But like legitimately, like one of them was the fact that like my parents were super strict. Yeah. They didn't let me have a car. Oof. And like on top of like being like not letting me do much of anything else.
I mean, did you walk to school?
No, I would get picked up by my friend or my parents would drop me off. Okay. But like, there's no way that you were gonna go on a date with a girl, And especially at the school I went to because it was private. So like,
yeah. For me, I went on a date. My mom allowed me to go on dates, but she still doesn't like any of my girlfriends.
Oh, gotcha.
She's always every time I've broken up with a girl's broken up with me. She's like, "Mira, what'd I tell you? I told you." She's like every woman I've been with. She's always like, she wants you because you have money. She wants you because she wants to use you. She wants you because you got good credit. Jesus Christ. I'm like, chingao, mom. Like, the fuck? She's like, she just wants you because you got a car. Like, fuck, mom. Yeah. Like, I mean, she loves me, but she don't.
Yeah, it's not. It just sounds she's like a little bit of a tiger mom, like very protective of her babies. Right?
More just me.
More just you.
More just me. The other three she don't give a shit about.
Yeah, I think too. Like, I think too with me that it's just like the fact that like I don't think I had like I mean like I didn't have the highest self-esteem either. Yeah. So I was like, it's funny. It's funny that like I look at myself and I'm just like, man, not that everyone should be feel lucky, right? Yeah. But like the fact that I didn't end up as an incel is a miracle.
I'm sorry. Like, so you're.
Well, it's funny because I was a dude.
When was your first girlfriend?
Oh, you know what? Like very late.
Really?
Yeah.
So you didn't even have a girlfriend in high school?
No, I didn't have. The first girlfriend I had I was 26. Wow. Yeah, but I had sex before that.
I want to clarify. Yeah. I wasn't a virgin. I done fucked and I done slayed some puss.
And like, if anyone listens to this, I'll probably psychoanalyze a lot.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because like if I were to be honest, right? Like once I got into the Navy, I just knew that like that would help a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of girls love military dudes, especially in Hawaii. I couldn't date. There's some girls in Hawaii that only dated military dudes.
Yeah, and like the thing with me was that like I had this self-esteem issue from high school, thinking that like women outright wouldn't date me because of me, you know. So I kind of had that kind of mindset going into the Navy. So it was just like, in my head I was like, if I can convince if I can convince a woman to have sex with me, right? It's because I'll tell them I was in the Navy, you know, and that would be the thing that would carry it, right? And in my head I was like, she's not gonna like you for you being you or anything about you. It's gonna be this one thing, and so like if you don't catch feelings, just like.
Wow.
Just like have these experiences and move on.
That's such an incel thought. It's like, don't catch me like them,
bro.
Like,
but at the same time, you know, like, I was able to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like it worked out a few times. So like, in my head, I was like, all right, I'm not so like you know when it comes to terms of the baseball field,
yeah.
right? I'm like I'm not so out of the game that I'm in the parking lot. You know, like I have enough charm.
Yeah,
you know?
you at least get you're a pinch hitter.
Yeah, well, and so like, but then like that was obviously the wrong thing. You know, like if I look back on it, it's like no, these women found you attractive. They're not just gonna like have sex with the Navy.
Yeah.
You know, these women are like, I'm gonna go have sex in the Navy tonight. That's like not like
some of them.
Yeah, well, it's like it might be like this guy's a sailor. I'm attracted to that.
Yeah.
But like, she still has to like pick you out of like
20, 30 dudes.
Yeah, you know, like, and of course, then of course there's something about you at least that she's attracted to, you know. And I'm telling you, mate, like when it comes to my self-esteem, and like at that point, like if you were to meet Young Yabes, you'd be like.
I probably would have been your friend still. Because the thing is, like, because I was an outcast. Like, my best friend in high school was the security staff.
Oh, gotcha.
So, like, I would go out on lunch, and I wouldn't really hang out with people. I'd hang out with the security staff, and I would just sit there in the front of the... Literally, I'd sit there in the front of the school.
Yeah. The
security guard, and I'd wait for people to come through and just throw away their food. Because people would... Because the rule with the school is you can bring food on campus, but you have to check it into the office. People would throw away good food in packages, in like In-N-Out, pizza, donuts. It's like, oh, I'm gonna throw this out then if I can't bring it in. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, whoa. I'll take that motherfucking shit. I don't give a fuck what it was. I got fed good. One day I got like 2 In-N-Out burgers with fries and 2 like drinks. Oh, yeah. I got half a pizza and I got half a box of donuts in one day. In one fucking day. I loved it, man. Like, I was sitting there. I was like, signing everyone up. My line was, I'm just a poor white Mexican. I need some food. And the security guard was like, boy, shut your ass up. I see your mama drop you off in that Mercedes. The fuck you talking about, you poor and shit. And he was like, but you be getting that shit. You be like, I see you be finessing these motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, you know. Fuck.
That's the realest people. Like, the realest people on the campus is the security staff. Because those motherfuckers don't give a shit. Because they see all the shit. They're just there to do a job. And they really don't give a fuck. Just as long as you ain't doing something destructive or like bad, they really just don't give a fuck.
It's that stuff you realize when you're an adult. You know, and like that you're terrified of some adults when you were children. But like you didn't realize that adult is being paid minimum wage and does not give a fuck. You know, like why does a person not give a shit if I'm running around and causing mayhem? It's like because they're not being paid enough.
Yeah.
You know, but
like you at Target.
But you know, like, and it was until I got into that first relationship because like I really had to like, you know, because it was funny because even when I was in it. I had to like convince myself that like this person was with me because he liked me.
That's a hard thing to do. You know,
yeah. So like, and it's hard to kind of like push that on people where it's just like, well, you were in the relationship already, so obviously, right?
Yeah.
But in my head, like the way that I was wired for so long,
I get that.
You know, like my worth when it comes to just like as a partner.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, I'll come, be with you for a minute, and then I'll just
leave.
Then I'll leave. You know,
yeah, you're just a thing. You're just like an accessory.
Yeah, you know?
I get like even in my relationships, like I've been in relationships, long-term relationships where I'm always waiting for the moment they're gonna leave. Like, there's that awkward stage in the relationship where the first person to say "I love you," right?
Oh yeah.
And I've been in situations where I was there's a few instances of one time this girl we were in bed and we just finished and we're just hanging out, right? And it was back at UH, and she lived like right next to the food, like where the campus is, the on-store campus, the food store where you can like buy all your snacks and shit. And the pizza was pretty bomb there. And it was pretty good. It was good enough. And then, they were playing Bob Marley, and I was like, they were like, "Is this love?" And I was like, "Is this love? Is this?" And I just I was just like chilling, blah blah blah. And she punches me in the gut. And says, "What the fuck you say?" And I was like, "Bitch, can't you hear the goddamn song?" She's like, "Oh yeah, it's playing." And she went back to sleep. And then another girl like, yeah, right. It's like she's like, "Pum, what the fuck you say?" She's like, all right, cool. Like some people don't want the word love. Another girl, so I left the car to go get some food, right? So I was like, "Oh, you want to come in to get food, or you want to stay here in the car?" She's like, "I'll stay here in the car." So all right, cool. I'll see you in a bit. And it's like she said, "I love you," and I looked at her and it's like, "I know you do," and I walked off, right?
And we got Han Solo.
Yeah, Han Solo that motherfucker. You know what I mean? And then so I go in there and I'm waiting like 15, 20 minutes for the food. There's like this whole thing that's happening in the back. Like at this point, I'm pissed, right? Pissed off of the fact that I forgot that she said that. And I get back in the car and she was like, "Here, hold the food for me, please." And she's like, "I meant love you, like, when you said, like, your friend, I love you like a friend." And I was like, and I laughed even harder. I was like, what's funny? I was so mad in there, I completely forgot about it. But, like, with me and this girl, like, it would be, I kind of lorded over this woman for a while. Mm-hmm. It was like, oh, it's just, whenever she get mad or we were in tizzy, I would be like, you love me. And she was like, "She says who?" And it's like, "You did." And you know what I mean? Yeah, stuff like that.
You probably sent her down like a spiral when you fucking said that and you left. You're like,
yeah,
I know. And she's like, "Oh no, why the fuck I said that? Why did I do that?"
Yeah.
Like, let me come up with a reason. When he comes
yeah,
back.
No. She was. And it was crazy because, like, I really messed that girl up. I will say that. It was a bad breakup. But, it's my fault. It is my fault. To be fair, all my breakups are because of me. You know what I mean? Well, that's part of my, like, I'm always assuming that I'm going to be the reason why the relationship doesn't work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm at the stage of I'm at a stage in my life where I'm like, because when I was younger, I think definitely, like, youth is always like a factor in, like, a lot of people's
inexperience,
right? But, like, and for whatever reasons, like, these women decided to be with me, right? The older I get, the more I realize that, like you gotta start changing your mindset, because that'll definitely happen less and less and less, and for me at least, my personal taste is that, like, I don't wanna, like I'd be very okay with, like, settling down.
Yeah. I'm in that same kind of mind frame right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I'm about to hit 30 in October. I'm literally.
You're ready to think about. Okay.
I'm at 30. I'm like, fuck, man. I need to find a wife. Like, I'm literally at that age right now. Like, I'm my next relationship. I want it to be my last relationship. You know what I mean? I'm at that phase. Like, I will say this. I'm a little baby crazy because we've all know a few women. I've had definitely cousins who had girls who are baby crazy. Like, they just want a kid. I dated a woman in high school. She told me she wanted a kid because her family didn't love her enough. And after she said that to me, I'm like, I'm done. Like, I get it. Like, that's not a healthy reason to have a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Plus, we were both 18 at the time. Yeah, I'm like, this is not the lifestyle I want right now. At that, it was my responsibility. That's what I wanted. Now she has a kid, not married, and that's her problem.
Well, everyone has their own prerogative, right? So, like, I mean, I was feeling 18 still young, but women. There's a definitive difference though between men and women. Like, women definitely have to start planning earlier because, like, we could be like 75 and have a kid.
Yeah.
But, like, for me at least, I just know that, like, one of my biggest fears, and it's definitely something that, like, I don't think will happen, but, like, in my head, I just like the older I get, right? Like, I'm not gonna get, like, more attractive as I get older.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, who knows, right? Who knows? But for me, I just know that like, I don't want to like be looking still. You know, once I get older.
Yeah.
Even though like I'm not in like whatever. But like my biggest fear is like I don't want to like, because I feel like it'll happen to any man, right? We're just kind of like I don't want to be like a 45-year-old man that's like dating a 21-year-old. Sure. You know.
But what's wrong with that? Why is that wrong?
Because I feel like at that point I could probably find someone that's close to my age. That like, because I feel like it's just hard because like not everything's always black and white, right?
Yeah, well, maybe we were 45 and that 21 year old. Like you guys just hit it off. You guys have a great relationship. She understands you. You understand her, and you can grow to like really being infatuated with this woman. She grows infatuated with you, and you know maybe this 45-year-old woman also you have a great relationship and great infatuation with. The only difference is it's just the age, isn't there? Like an experience.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe call it ageist, right? But like when I hear these men who are like in their like mid-40s or older, like they have like a really young girlfriend. You know, I'm not saying like not to have it, but to be like you don't understand. She like there's so much about her that she understands me at this level that like I even know myself. Yeah, I'm like I feel like you're just lying.
Really? I feel like you're gonna be 45 and you're gonna be that dude and you're like, damn, I get it now. I'm just kidding.
You know, like I don't know. I just feel like that just to me like if you can't, and of course yeah, because everyone's life experience is different, right? But I'm just like, just think about yourself when you were 21 years old, you know. And just like think about like talking to like a 45-year-old person. You know, like do you think in your own experience like I have something to offer this person that they haven't already experienced?
Just youthful energy in the bedroom.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, and I'm just like.
I mean, sometimes that's what they want, isn't it?
No, yeah, and I feel like if they were upfront about that, you know, like if these dudes are just like, and I'm not saying that there aren't dudes that are doing it, but like I feel like I've met so many dudes. And like it's usually like the dudes who are just like they get divorced older, you know, and then they find like a really young wife, and then they're like she's whatever. I'm just like just say that she's young. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like I like younger women, you know. But
I personally, like I said, I like women in the like 30s and 40s, and I love women. Like honestly, for me, even when I was in my 20s, I prefer like women in the 40s and 30s. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because like there's so much more there. Like a lot of women who are young, like I said before, like a lot of them are stupid.
Everyone's stupid when they're young.
Yeah, everyone's fucking stupid, man.
You know, like even if you're intelligent,
you're a fucking idiot.
Stupid,
I mean, look at Sheldon.
Yeah, you could definitely rattle people still who are very intelligent. You know, I just feel like it's nice to kind of like talk to someone who's like closer to my age because I feel like I can talk to them about stuff that like I probably experienced and they've probably experienced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this to me, it's fascinating just to get to a point where like you're past a lot of things, especially because like I'm in my 30s, and like other 30-year-olds, I feel like I kind of like the despair. You know what I'm saying?
I need that saltiness. Well, it's different here than LA than everywhere else. You would say that, no?
Oh no, yeah, for sure, because I feel like you come to like if you come to a place like this place, Los Angeles, and you go to like a New York, or like there's like scenes, very but you still find the outliers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there's definitely there's definitely people that you'll meet that are like so way out of like a fashion designer and they're a millionaire and they're like 34 and of course like you'll like yeah that's crazy, but like you'll meet a lot of like 30-year-olds who are like, man, this sucks. You know, like, and like, yeah, it does suck and I like that.
I feel like I'm still just barely entering my prime though. For me, like I'm still feel like I'm not even in my prime. Like I'm just, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm still in the epilogue of my story.
Oh, gotcha.
Like I feel like I'm like once I hit my 30s, I feel like that's when I'm really gonna start like molding. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
I'm right now. I feel like I'm still a caterpillar.
Yeah.
Like, I need to get into that Cancun state.
No, I feel like mentally wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting to that point.
You still in your Cancun?
Yeah, it's very naive to say, I think, too, because like who knows where I'll be at in the future, right? I mean, like I think for prime, like for me physically, right, it's probably like 14. It's just kind of been downhill
since 14. That's sad.
Since that point, you know.
I feel that. That's sad, but you know, I feel like ever since high school, I feel like I've been going up. I didn't feel like I'm going down. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny because like when I was in 8th grade, I played basketball. That's probably when I was like in the best shape of my life.
And then you went to high school and didn't make the team.
Well, no, I went to high school and everyone was like 6'2". But then like I also got into shape when I was in the Navy.
That's fair. Yeah.
Initially. So like I've known myself skinny. I've known myself fat and fatter. You know.
I mean, but you got healthy. You got healthy because remember you talking like especially in 2020, 21. You were definitely. I remember you posting about like your health, and then you started like really getting in shape, eating better. I mean, that's really commendable. Like it's hard for people to do that.
Yeah, well, you know, I feel like there's a mentality too where like you can't beat yourself up if you fall off the if you fall off the you know
the path,
the wagon, basically. Yeah, the path too, because like then you'll get really bad. You know, I think too, just like the fact that I'm getting older, you start to feel a lot of the repercussions when you're like, because you know, like when you're like 22, you can eat like 4 cheeseburgers a day. Yeah, and then be like, you know.
Now I feel like if I drink too much, I can feel it in my stomach. Like I just don't feel right the next day.
Yeah, you know, like I mean, like you eat a cheeseburger now, immediately you feel it.
Indigestion.
You know, like, but it's just. I think it's just natural as you get older.
Yeah,
you know,
I get you.
I think you'll naturally cut back on things, unless you don't. Then you see those people, right? But like you know, like I'm not, you know, I did so much measurable damage to my body when I was younger, just thinking that like I'll be.
First off, you were in the military, so that's enough damage.
You know, like part of me is like real surprised I got, you know, there's not more wrong. There's probably, I don't know. Who knows what's wrong with me? But like, I'm surprised. You know, like no hard drugs, right? But like,
you're not homeless.
Yeah, but like, just like the whole. The I used to do things where like I'd stay up for like 2 or 3 days because of work. You know. Yeah. There was insane times where I'd work until like 9 p.m.
9 p.m. That's so late.
Yeah, and then I'd just get blitzed. You know, and then like. I'd drink until like 2 or 3 in the morning. Oof. And then I'd go home and get like 2 hours of sleep. And then I'd go to work. Oof. You know, multiple times. Yeah. And I look back at that, I'm like, at some point I will feel that. Yeah. So at some point my body will be like, remember when you did that shit? Well,
I feel that now. Like sometimes I gotta take a day. Like if I have a day off, I'm just gonna nap all day.
Yeah.
I just need to just recharge.
No, I get that. I fucking feel that for sure.
Hey, but you've been here for about 2 hours now. But you know, I want to say thank you for coming on. I've always loved you. Always will love you. You want to shout out Instagram? You want Anthony? You want to shout out some couple shows, something like that?
Well, I got a couple shows. I'm so bad. I forget when they are. But I'm on all the socials. John Yabes. You just look up John Yabes.
Yabes.
Yab as in boy. Yes.
Yes. And Yabes. Honestly, every time I think of your name, Yabes. It's like, you know what your name sounds like? It sounds like it should be like in a manga. Like it should be one of the sound effects in the manga. Like Yabes.
Like an uppercut.
Yeah. It's a Yabes.
Yabes.
But yeah, at John Yabes. Thank you for coming out. I always love you.
Hey, right.
Thank y'all. Take care.